I tried a full day of eating from Coach Greg Doucette's Anabolic Cookbook, and today I'm going to let you know if it's worth it. If you've ventured anywhere on the gym bro side of YouTube, you probably know who Greg Doucette is. But despite being a YouTube sensation, Greg has a very long career in the bodybuilding and fitness space. He's competed in bodybuilding and powerlifting most of his adult life, even earning his IFBB bodybuilding pro card in 2012. So say what you will about his internet personality, but when it comes to getting jacked, Greg knows what he's talking about. Which led me to want to try his Anabolic Cookbook, which he promotes in many of his videos. So I went ahead and bought the Anabolic Cookbook 3.0, which was $150 for the cookbook alone, the ebook copy of it. And with a price like that, many people online are asking, is it even worth it? So today I'm going to answer that question and put these recipes to the test by eating meals only from his cookbook from one day. Let's start with meal one. Gotta make sure cinnamon. I can't tell you how many times I put chili powder and things on accident. Okay, so here we are, folks, making our anabolic breakfast. Now in the Anabolic Cookbook, there are tons of breakfast options, ranging from, a large selection of like protein muffins, protein pancakes, and even more savory options like omelets and even avocado toast. And remember, these are typically like higher protein versions of those breakfasts. But one of the more popular options that I keep seeing online is the anabolic French toast. So today we're trying that. Yeah, it's even listed as one of the favorites in the cookbook. So this one's a must try. I got it cooking right now, actually. All right, so along with the anabolic French toast, I also wanted to try something else in the breakfast category. So I went with the egg white bites for something a little bit more savory. Got those in the oven right now as well. And we're gonna try them both in 1 second. Now, as I'm preparing these foods, the one thing I'm finding pretty helpful is all the meal prep tips that are included, about batch cooking, that type of stuff. So you're not constantly cooking. It's all about like preparing more in advance. Like a day like this, I've set aside time to cook, but most busy people aren't going to have that much time. So these tips come in really helpful. Almost every recipe can be batched, saved for later. So it's really convenient if you're busy and want to prepare a bunch of stuff, if you're going to do a meal prep at the beginning of the week. And boom, here's the breakfast.
And here it is. We got the egg white bites. I ended up making around like 9 of them, just given the size of my pan, as well as the 3 slices of anabolic French toast.
Okay, first bite of the anabolic French toast here. This is pretty solid. I would say it tastes like the real thing. I probably, if I was making it on my own, wouldn't have put Splenda in it, but I think it gives it the right level of sweetness, so I'm enjoying this. Okay, so let's talk about the macros here for a second. Typically, me personally, when I'm maintaining, shooting for maintenance, that type of thing, around 2,500, 2,600 calories, around 200 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs, and 65 to 70 grams of fat. Give or take a little bit. That's when I'm maintaining. So I'm gonna try to, I've picked these meals today to fit those numbers.
And then for the French toast here, for the entire batch, all 3 slices with the normal bread here, we got 400 calories, 2 grams of fat, 48 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of protein. So a whopping amount of protein. And then for the egg white bites here, for the entire batch, we got 410 calories, 1 gram of fat, 22 grams of carbs, and 72 grams of protein. Personally, living in Canada, we have a hard time finding any fat-free cheese. So my macros are going to be a little bit different here, a bit less carbs and a bit more fat, but I just made it work.
And for you watching this, one thing to just keep in mind, it's great to have all of the macros and calories being listed, although Greg does recommend just tracking calories and protein being the most important things for body comp and getting jacked. But it's important to still do the math yourself and take ownership of that, because we can only trust these things so much. That doesn't mean that they're not accurate at all, but if you really want the best results, take that into account as well. But I'm gonna list all the macros for what I've been eating here up on the screen. So for the first meal here, fantastic, tasted amazing. I'm just about to dig into the egg white bites, but the anabolic French toast, fantastic. But so far so good, really good breakfast. I would definitely eat this every day.
Alrighty, so I just finished up breakfast here, and I gotta be honest, the quantity of food and the amount of protein, I'm feeling quite full. I honestly very content. Everything was super tasty. I am considering how I'm going to,
eat the rest of all the food that I have planned today. But outside of that, like the recipes were great. So far, so good. I'm excited to move on to the rest of them. All right, so now it's time for a midday snack. I am grabbing a Coach Greg approved Quest bar here. This is on the list and in the meal plan, something convenient, a little chocolatey. These are great to get a little additional protein and kind of fills a gap when I don't have time to eat an additional meal. So I'm working one of these in. The macros on this guy are, we got 170 calories, 7 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs, and 20 grams of protein, which brings my daily totals to this right here. All right, I'm gonna get back to work for a while. You're gonna see me next at lunch for my next anabolic meal.
Okay, so it's officially lunchtime around here, and I'm gonna be trying out one of Coach Greg's diet wraps. I've seen these all over his channel. He's eating them consistently. The one thing I really like about the way the cookbook lines these out is that there's a bunch of different options with really similar macronutrients. So there's like tons of, and calories, and really tons of different like flexibility in the things that you could choose to eat, which keeps everything, like fresh, exciting, makes you want to stick to things while you still make your goals, which is super important. I'm going to go with one of the turkey-based wraps here. I got some like really simple, low-fat roasted turkey breast. You can have about 5 slices of that, some low-fat mayo, as well as some like hot sauce. And again, we don't have much options for fat-free shredded cheese, but I'm just going to use some low-fat mozzarella on mine, as well as like a ton of different vegetables. So here we go. I'm also gonna warm mine up because I like a melted cheese wrap, personal preference, but I'm gonna do that. Take some liberties here. One thing I really like about this cookbook for sure is that it definitely emphasizes like high volume eating, which is gonna be one of the easiest things. Like if you're looking to get leaner and put on some muscle and eat a certain way, like the easiest way to get there and make progress is definitely going to be emphasizing volume and a total amount of weight. It's just like when you eat more high volume foods that don't have a lot of calories, you stay full, dieting becomes easier, and this cookbook emphasizes that. Again, I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm like already feeling pretty full throughout the day, and it's just lunchtime already here. So that part is really, really cool. Personally, also, I'm not weighing this out, but I've gotten so good about eyeballing macronutrients that I know I'm good. Okay, so I also got the chips and guacamole here. This is just a simple high protein wrap, air fried with the guacamole. Excited about this because chips and guacamole definitely sounds like one of those things that's off limits when dieting. So I was pretty excited to see that this version was in the cookbook, and it's only 210 calories with 12 grams of protein, coming mainly from the actual chips here. Okay, so I got my wrap ready to go here. It is quite large, which again, tons of volume to these meals. I'm gonna attempt to eat this while I talk to you guys. That might not be super wise, but here we are. Okay, first taste. Oh, it's excellent. It feels like super healthy, fresh, Subway, something that you could eat consistently. The one thing I really like about cookbooks is that it pushes you to eat things and try new things that you typically wouldn't, still within your goals, which is really, it makes the whole dieting process so much easier. So I think just for like inspiration around meals and stuff, it's one of the best perks of buying something like a cookbook. If it allows you to like get excited about cooking, I put way more effort into this stuff than I typically would have. It just makes the process of eating a lot easier and more fun, and you're just more mindful of it. This itself tastes really great. Very big volume. I can tell that like fullness wise, I'm going to be like full right through dinner. I even think the afternoon snacks I have picked out, I'm going to have probably a hard time eating them. So from a fullness perspective, this makes it really easy to stay on track. This is excellent. I'll be trying more of the wraps in the upcoming days as well, because I want to try them all. So I'm excited about that. Really, really good.
Going for a first taste here with these chip guys. Pretty good. Very fresh tasting. I can tell that is going to add a lot of volume to my meal, which for the most part, like I've had a lot of volume today. I'm feeling quite full already. So this is like a great side to go along with something at lunchtime. Tons of healthy fat, very fresh tasting, does not feel like dieting at all, that's for sure.
So I've been tracking everything on an app called Macros First. I have all the macros for my lunch here. Total calories for the entire lunch, including the protein, chips, and guacamole, which I tracked within the app. So if you want to search it, by all means, go for it. You'll find it there. But the total lunch was 735 calories, 66 grams of protein, 75 carbs, and 32 grams of fat. It's got everything included there. I think that puts me at the daily total here around 1,300 calories, 137 protein, 134 carbs, and 44 grams of fat. Super balanced so far, maybe a little bit under on the carbs, but I got some more snacks as well as some desserts coming up. So I think that'll push it out a little bit more. So everything good so far. All right, so now we're moving on to the afternoon snack. One of the interesting things about this cookbook is that Greg has a lot of recipes that don't fit into the typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's tons of different like snacks and spreads and dips, which are convenient to kind of like slot in wherever.
One of them here is this dillweed dip. I got some mixed vegetables as well. This dillweed dip is like completely made of Greek yogurt and other tasty things. This recipe makes 3 servings, so I'm obviously not going to eat all of this all at once, but this is going to be an easy way for me to get my fresh vegetables in. I know
a lot of people really don't like eating vegetables. My clients, there's specific ones that don't, but we need the nutrients, we need the volume, and adding like a sauce or a dip that isn't loaded with calories and fat, super easy way to do this. So I'm gonna work this into my afternoon snack here. I got the first taste. I'm gonna get out of my shirt, which is fantastic. Very fresh tasting. The Greek yogurt just makes it really like light and fresh. I particularly like dill, so that part is good. And this is gonna be just like a lot of protein, a lot of volume, keep me full, keep me energized through the rest of the workday before dinner here. So another, like, honestly, this is, I've been impressed so far. Things that I just typically wouldn't do, I'm doing new ideas, and I'll be working this into the mix as well. Alrighty, so we've made it to dinner time here. After my afternoon snack, I didn't update you on where I was macros wise. But right now I'm sitting at 162 grams of protein, 143 grams of carbs, 49 grams of fat for around 1,500 calories total. I'm going to be making 2 things for dinner here. First one will be this new pasta chicken stir fry, which is essentially those like super low calorie noodles. I got one of them right here. This in itself is like 25 calories for the entire package. It's that konjac dietary fiber, more or less like a more all fiber noodle that I'll use in the stir fry. You know, I apologize for the butchering of that word, but here we are. As well as I'm going to make some egg white fries that seem appealing, and I'm going to eat those together. All right, so for the small batch of the stir fry, we got 320 calories, 33 grams of protein, 33 grams of carbs and fiber. It's going to have some pasta sauce in it, which I probably wouldn't eat for a stir fry most of the time. I'd probably do something a little bit more like Asian inspired with soy sauce, but we're going to try it out and go from there. And although like these don't make complete sense going together, I want to try the egg white fries. I'm looking forward to those. Obviously pairing those together doesn't make tons of sense, but I'm looking forward to trying those. Fries are definitely one of those things that do feel off limits when dieting or just like following a healthy diet to begin with, but got more or less flat out white potato here with the coating is egg white. So I'm interested to see what that's like. So like a healthier option, a bit more protein as well. So I'm gonna cook these up and let's then give them a taste test. All right, diving into dinner here. Fries are fantastic. They got like I put them in the air fryer. They are super crispy, and it's interesting what the egg whites did to them. I still don't know if I love using the egg whites as like the coating type thing, mainly just because it seemed like you were wasting a lot of egg white. I was trying to figure out the macros at the beginning because the egg white fries have like only 2 grams of protein for the entire serving, but you use half a cup of egg whites. And that's just because they don't really stay on there. Other than that, the taste is amazing though. The chicken stir fry with the new pasta, those noodles, there's something, if I didn't need to go, like if the intent wasn't super low carb, I would just eat normal noodles. I think you should do that. Obviously drives the calories up as well. And this is a good way to keep the volume up. But honestly, like I ate a few right out of the actual package because they sit in that water stuff. A little off-putting, to be completely honest, really not for me. But in the actual stir fry, which is only pasta sauce, again, I probably would make something a little more Asian inspired if I had to do it. Again, ginger, soy sauce, that type of thing is pretty good overall though. I know for sure this is gonna like really fill me up. I'm gonna be quite ahead on my protein as well. This isn't my favorite meal out of everyone. Everything today has been amazing. This one's okay. I'm surprised in some senses, but also just like I probably wouldn't pick these two specifically again. But we're not done yet. We still have dessert. I still got some calories to burn. I think actually, let me tell you where we're at here. We are currently at, that dinner was 450 calories total with like 50 grams of protein, 51 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat. Total for the day, we're at 1900 calories, already at 200 grams of protein. So based on what we're gonna do for the rest, we are gonna go over 200 grams of carbs, 56 grams of fat. We still got dessert next. I'm making 2 of them. Okay, so I feel like I've ate a lot today, but we still have some calories left over. So we're moving on to desserts and I'm gonna try 2 of them. As I was looking through the cookbook, I was getting the sense that Coach Greg has a bit of a sweet tooth because there's tons of different dessert recipes here. From anabolic cheesecake to ice cream to lava cake and even some donuts. And the cool thing is a lot of these desserts are going to be much lower in calories than their full calorie counterparts, as well as be high in protein. So they're easy to eat on any diet. And most of them tend to be much higher in volume as well. We got 2 desserts to try today. The first is the Boston cream donut, which is going to have around 220 calories and 14 grams of protein. We're using like flat out, like normal buns. It says hamburger buns in the recipe, but I'm using these like butter topped buns. I think it's going to be excellent. So I'm excited to dig into those. I'm going to start making them right away. Yeah, so I'm just going to follow the recipe here. Got, what do I got here? I got some Greek yogurt, around 60 grams. There's probably not going to be any talking in this, but if there is, 70 grams there. And then I'm going to do 5 grams of vanilla extract. I got some sugar on me too. Onion. 1 scoop of protein powder. I'm using chocolate. There we go. 30 grams of Cool Whip. Oh yeah. Don't try this at home, folks. And we got just 5 grams of sugar-free vanilla instant pudding. Okay. And this also says in the filling we need 60 grams of egg whites.
I'm so happy with all this B-roll I'm getting for you.
I know. Well, no, it's just like the instant pudding is kind of yellow, and I was like, where did this yellow come from? And 60 grams of low-calorie syrup. Don't get the label here, okay? Okay, so I got the strawberry ice cream here, as well as my Boston cream donut. I think I probably goofed up on the execution a little bit on this. The bun and stuff isn't quite right, but those are the donuts and this stuff. The ice cream, I originally meant to, I don't know if you can see this back here, I wanted to put it in this Ninja Creamy I just got. Like I just got it. I actually thought it was gonna be more like blender-like for the video. I've heard people talking about it, and I just couldn't figure it out. It was a little bit over my head, if I'm being honest. When I get this thing up and running and you want me to do a review on it, let me know in the comments. Maybe type Ninja below, because I've heard people talking about the ice cream being crazy. But I just put this in the food processor, and it has like a crazy amount of volume. I don't know if it's a xanthan gum or what it was exactly, but this was the small version from the cookbook. And there's like, it's like a full bowl of food here. So taste is really good, very fluffy. It's probably like a little bit more like whipped cream like than truly ice cream, but massive amount of food. Haven't dug into my donut yet. Losing a little bit of filling. This tastes pretty good. Again, surprising how good it tastes. My execution, I think, is off. The bun, she went more with a pure, full-on hamburger bun than versus more of a dinner bun kind of thing. Overall, though, these are great desserts. I'm only going to eat a little bit of strawberry ice cream because I'm actually pretty close to being over my macros. My protein's already quite a bit over, which I think, depending on who you ask, is a perk of this cookbook. Okay, so we finally reached the end of the full day of eating only recipes from the Anabolic Cookbook from Greg Doucette. Here are my thoughts. I'm sure you're waiting for them. Full day of eating. Is it worth it? So I think the cookbook is expensive, but it is well designed, beautiful, all like high protein, healthy option meals with tons of variety. I'd pay the $150 again. I think these cookbooks give you a lot of like, when they're done well, like this one is, it gives you a lot of like inspiration around things to cook. I think you try out different things. I think it makes you put more effort into your food, maybe enjoy the process a little bit more. As someone that typically doesn't enjoy that stuff, I found myself enjoying it. Specifically with the recipes that I tried today, I felt very full throughout the day. Like I feel content. Obviously I did 6 different recipes here, so it was a lot of cooking. It's not something I would do on a normal day, but working new things in, feeling really good, feeling content, tons of volume, tons of protein. That was good overall. I feel like some of the recipes were maybe like a little bit like egg white focused. I felt like I was like either cooking with it or dipping it with everything, which I mean, from a protein perspective, drives your protein up quite a bit. But just this day alone, like I might have used like 1,000 grams of egg whites. It's a lot. But other than that, I would totally recommend this. And I think just for the inspiration alone and it being like really well designed, the meals taste good. The like macros make sense. They're going to be like healthy versions of a bunch of different stuff, like a lot of variety for different people. I think you'll find a lot of value in it. So I definitely would recommend. I think even if you added in 1 or 2 recipes per week, you'd find yourself with more variety, like a bit more protein in your diet and benefiting overall. So I think for that, it's worth it. Plus, if you're a fan of Coach Greg, you'll notice that his personality is infused throughout the entire cookbook. So I found myself laughing a few times. Like this says in the Boston cream donuts for the hamburger buns, it says 6 regular ass hamburger buns. You find yourself like just laughing through that kind of stuff. So if you're a fan, I think you'll enjoy that aspect of the cookbook as well. So that was my experience eating only from the Anabolic Cookbook 3.0. I think I tried here from Greg Doucette. Full day of eating. I do recommend it. If you've tried the cookbook or tried any of the recipes, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. You might be able to hear my dishwasher in the background. I've got a lot of dishes to get through here. So pardon me. Hope it's not too much of an interruption. If you're really serious about starting a nutrition coaching business, the next thing I'm going to have you do is check out this video I've linked up right here. I walked 10,000 steps per day with a weighted vest. I want to show you the impact it had on my health and my life in the video right here. So check it out right now, and I'll see you in the next video.